Let's talk about Tennessee and why Josh Heupel is adamant that the QB Derby is on. Also, that little game they lost against Ohio State. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If that is something you're into, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Do you think Tennessee will get back to the college football playoff in 2025, given the change not just at quarterback, but more importantly at running back? As Volunteer fans will be the first to tell you, it wasn't Nico that was stirring the drink. It was Dylan Sampson. And that is in keeping with the kind of program that Josh Heupel has built at the University of Tennessee. Like, I don't mind saying it. I think last year was the best coaching season I've ever seen from Josh Heupel. And I have been fortunate enough to watch Josh Heupel's career since he played quarterback at Oklahoma, led OU to a national championship, all the way through offensive coordinator, tight ends coach at Arizona, offensive coordinator at Oklahoma, quarterback coach, running his own program at Central Florida, brief stop there in Missouri, and then taking over Tennessee with Danny White, and they got that thing humming. Like, it's been really interesting. They go 10-3 last year, 10-win season for the second time in 3 years, and I think it's worth pointing out that they hadn't had two 10-win seasons since the early aughts, or I want to say like 97, 98. But I know this for certain. There were 0 10-win seasons between 2008 and 2021. Dark period for Tennessee fans, and they have come out of it firing. It's really about just getting that last little bit for Tennessee. And this is the tough part. Like, getting to 10 wins is difficult. Getting to 11, 12, then you're getting into the deep water because you're only playing the best of the best of our sport, the class competition. But each of the last 2 years, they have led the SEC in rushing, 2,500 yards rushing in every one of the 4 years that Josh Heupel has been there. And this is the third best start that any coach has had in a 4-season stretch with 37 wins in 4 years. They've been right there. Right? That's just it. Right where they were when they played Ohio State in that opening round. And they get to figure out just how far away they are from winning the national championship as they watched Ohio State not just run through them, but run through Oregon and Texas and Notre Dame. That in and of itself is remarkable. Like, you think about that run and what it took for the Buckeyes to get that national championship. They didn't do this over Boise State. They didn't do this over Southern Methodist. Again, they did this over Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, and Notre Dame. Not too shabby. Also going to take this opportunity to remind you that we have an audio podcast on Apple and Spotify. And if you are kind enough to leave us a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, I'm going to send you this sticker in the mail along with a thank you note. Just hit the form in the description below. For the folks that are listening on the audio, go to a YouTube video, basically anyone that we have made in the last 2 months, and go to the bottom of the description. You'll see the link in the form where you can fill this out. I need to do a live stream here fairly soon where I fill out a bunch of these because I owe a bunch of you notes, and they're coming. I'm going to get these done before my birthday. I turn 38 this year. What a wild year to turn 38. Man, I spent 20 years. No? Got started when I was 18. Damn, I've spent more time covering college football on this earth than anything else. Thinking about it, I got started when I was 18 years old. 20 years I've been covering college football. Wild. Really, really wild. I also think that it's important to point out that Tennessee has been nails at Neyland. Like, Oklahoma got to come to Neyland this year is one of the reasons I'm pointing it out. How's that 2015 taste in your mouth, by the way? I'm excited about that game. I'm figuring it out because that is an atmosphere. One where OU comes in going, hey, we was here the last time, and Butch Jones tried to tell Eric Stryker off, but we wasn't trying to feel none of that, hear none of that. We don't care. You know what I'm saying? Baker Mayfield said, what's good, Neyland? What's good, General? Coming in at Knoxville. We don't care nothing about none of that. But they've been 20-1 under Heupel, dog. Like, 21 games, they lost 1 game at Neyland. It's a tough place to play. It's got to be a fortress this year if they're trying to get back to the college football playoff. You can't afford to drop games at that stadium, and you got one tough schedule to start. Like, Syracuse is coming. Like, that's a good football team. That ought to be a really great non-conference matchup between the ACC and the SEC. And I really enjoy that Deshaun Bishop going to get an opportunity to announce himself. There's a lot of folks that don't believe in Deshaun like I believe in Deshaun. Some of them are volunteers. Some of y'all over here trying to tell me, like, hey, Deshaun don't get no snaps last year. Man, all right, cool. We'll see. We'll see. But that's going to be what it is, right? They want to run the football. They want to run the football well. They want to get off to fast starts. They want to get 3 touchdowns the first quarter and then sit on your chest. That's what they're going to try to do. Now, I also think it's interesting that a lot of this is just going to be testing the quarterback if you are the defense that's facing Tennessee for the first half of the season. You want to see what that dude's made of because you know that the dude that was there ain't it, right? Nico Iamaleava is, for Vols fans, addition by subtraction, okay? We got out what we think is a cancerous cell, and we've caught it right in time before it could really do us some damage and some harm. And they responded like you would expect an SEC program to respond, which is to say nobody's bigger than the program. Nobody's ever been bigger than the program. We have shoved off more important coaches than you. We have lived through Lane Kiffin and Derek Dooley and his friggin' stool. You don't get to do this to us, especially after they paid him $350 up front in high school and then loaded this contract more than $2 million a year over 3 years. Remarkable money that they were paying Nico Iamaleava. And he played not great in 2024 and demanded more money in a holdout. And they said, sayonara. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, you know? And then they went and got Joey Aguilar. No disrespect to Joey Aguilar. None at all. But he was not as highly touted as Nico Iamaleava. And he played at Appalachian State. Wasn't great last year. Was just okay. But the year before that, it's pretty damn good. Now, thinking about what it is in 2025, I'm interested to see what he's got on the outside. Because if they got some dudes they can throw the rock to, it'll be okay. It'll be just fine. But Josh Heupel has also said it's quarterback derby. Every one of his guys is going to get an opportunity to go out and win the job, from McIntyre to Mecklinger to, yes, Aguilar. But I don't think you bring in a guy like Joey Aguilar if you do not expect Joey Aguilar to win the job. And, you know, I don't think anybody would want it any other way. Like, the last thing that you want to do as a head coach is assure somebody's got a job anywhere, anytime. You always want competition throughout. And this is an important year for everybody with revenue share. And as you have guys that are grandfathered into your rosters, you're going to quickly get to 105, which means that everybody you bring in has to be able to play right away. And that starts this season. Young guys don't have an opportunity to be young anymore. They got to contribute, which means that everybody's going to start trying to look and do it the way that George has done it, which is to play a lot of people a few snaps, right? You got to rotate the entire roster through. Find out who can make plays for you, find out who needs to be on the field in critical situations, but also have enough depth behind them that it matters. Like, this is why, like, a guy like Star Thomas behind Deshaun Bishop, I think is going to be a big deal. I also think that you need to have McIntyre and Mecklinger believing that you believe in them in case something happens to Aguilar, because those guys going into the game could be fortuitous. It could be detrimental. I'm thinking about what happens when DJ Lagway goes down. You got to go to third string quarterback. It's not great. DJ Lagway was also the difference between winning and losing at Florida. Like, when he was on the field, they were unbeatable. Full stop. You need to have that in your guy. I think they can get that in their guys. I really do. I think that Tennessee come back with an outstanding defense. They're going to make life that much simpler on their offense. And one of the reasons I believe that they've really committed to running the football last year's, A, Nico couldn't do what Hendon Hooker could do, which is what we thought. B, they were really stout up front. Now, they're going to replace a lot up front, but they were able to play complementary football, because anytime you can run the football well, you give your defense opportunities to not take breathers. That's what people say. It's really about snap count. How many snaps are you on the field, right? Like, it's can we get off the field on 3 and out? We get off the field on 3 and out, and then we know that the offense is going to run the football. We don't actually have to go out there and defend as often as many. Like, this is why Michigan's defense 2023 was so good. You just didn't have to worry about it. You didn't have to worry about whether or not they were going to run the football. You didn't have to worry about whether or not they were going to take an appropriate time off the clock. And you didn't worry about whether or not they were going to move the chains. They were going to move the chains. It was going to work for them. If Tennessee can be that team again, yeah, they'll make the playoff.